Carolina Central is in the house, but it's the Wolverines looking for revenge after a beatdown just a couple of weeks ago in North Carolina. The Eagles of North Carolina Central taking on the Wolverines of Utah Valley. It's coming up next right here on UVU TV. To the warm confines of the UCCU Center on the campus of Utah Valley University. We're in Orem, Utah, as the Wolverines of Utah Valley, 6-7 on the season, entertain the Eagles of North Carolina Central, who are 5-6. Hello again, everybody. Jim McCullough, Matt Peterson. It's a rematch between these two, but the interesting thing in my mind, Matt, is the Wolverines are playing pretty good at home, actually. 3 straight overtime games they have won.
Yeah, they're playing really well, and it's good to see because they had such a tough start to the season playing so many games on the road. They get home, they get a little bit more practice time, they get more comfortable, they're not traveling as much, and we have started to see that on the basketball court where they just look a lot better than what they did at the beginning of the year. Yeah,
4 nights ago they took on Troy right here at the UCCU Center, and boy, it was a heck of a game. Another overtime win.
Yeah, another overtime win. We saw a lot of great plays. The Wolverines came out, and I thought they did a very nice job. See a lot of highlights early on of Antoine Hosley. He played very well off the bench. He gave them the spark that the Wolverines needed. And they got good play overall. I thought it was a well-fought game from both teams. As you mentioned, it went into overtime. Looking to this afternoon's game, the Wolverines are going to have to build on that game. They've got to keep up the momentum. They've got to remain focused because they definitely have a tough task ahead of them in this game.
Yeah, because that first game about a month ago in Durham, North Carolina, Central just blew them out in the first half. Shot 61%, ended up winning it by 18. So Carolina Central comes in here knowing they can beat the Wolverines. So who are the players you're going to watch for tonight for both teams to maybe give the Wolverines a victory here at home?
Yeah, what we've seen a lot lately is we do these key players, and they definitely are key. For North Carolina Central, we've got Ray Willis. We're going to have to watch him tonight. We've also seen a lot of times other players step up, but for Ray this season, averaging 12.7 points per game, 46% from the field. For UVU, we've got to always take a look at Ben Aird, leading scorer for the Wolverines, provides that inside presence, averaging almost 13 points a game, 57% from the field, and 8 rebounds a game. So he always has an impact on the game inside. It's going to be no different today, and he's going to have that.
Yeah, looking at that first matchup between these two, Willis had 15 for Carolina Central. Ben Aird had 12 points, 9 rebounds. So it will be interesting to watch. So keys to victory for UVU tonight at home.
Yeah, a lot of times this is what we point out for UVU, and when they take care of the basketball, they play really well. So obviously, first of all, take care of the ball. As you mentioned, they've got to come out quickly. In the previous game, they got behind early, and it's really hard on the road and at home to come back from a deep deficit very early on. And they've got to defend well. You know, it's got to be an all-round total team effort. NCCU shot 67% in the second half of the last game. So for a full 40 minutes tonight, the Wolverines are going to have to defend. And look at those keys. We'll revisit them throughout the game. It's going to be important for them to do all those things if they expect to win.
Should be an interesting battle. The Wolverines taking on the Eagles of Carolina Central. We'll take a break. Back with more Costa Vida pregame show, your starting lineups, and your opening tip coming your way next, right here on UVU TV.
Costa Vida was born on the beach, so the coast inspires how we prepare everything, from our crisp salads to our irresistible burritos. And with more fresh sauces and salsas to choose from, meals at Costa Vida are truly a custom experience. Costa Vida, the coast is calling.
Welcome back to the UCCU Center. Jim McCall along with Matt Peterson. The Eagles of Carolina Central, 5-6 on the season, taking on the Wolverines, 6-7. It's a rematch from a game that was played November 27th in Durham, North Carolina. Utah Valley just stunk it up that night. Here's your starting lineups. First of all, for the Eagles of North Carolina Central, they'll be starting Stanton Kidd at guard. They'll be starting Jeremy Ingram at guard. Emmanuel Chapman gets the start at the other guard spot. They're starting 4 guards tonight. Ray Willis, the guard, and Devron Williams at forward. They come in here averaging 68 points a game, giving up 59. They are coached by Lavelle Moten, head coach in his 4th season with the Eagles of North Carolina Central. Back in Durham, folks just refer to them as Central. In the whole state, they refer to them as Carolina Central. There is no North Carolina in North Carolina Central, back east anyway.
That'll make it easy for us, right? We don't have to say North Carolina Central the whole game.
Well, you can just say those guys if you want.
I could say those guys. That'd be good. The visitors.
Yeah, the visitors. North Carolina Central. Lavelle Moten, his 4th season with Carolina Central. Career record of 44-58. They are members of the MEAC, the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. That first game, though, I tell you what, they just took it to the Wolverines. That was, if I recall correctly, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. The Wolverines flew on Monday, played Tuesday night, and just got waxed as Carolina Central shot 61% in the first half and ended up shooting 57% for the game. Beat the Wolverines that night 70-52. That 18-point victory could have been a lot bigger. In fact, the score at halftime, Matt, was 40-18 in favor of North Carolina Central. So the Wolverines got a lot to prove tonight.
They do, and I can guarantee you that they remember that game because they are probably wanting that one back. So, they are playing really well. They played a couple nights ago and, had a couple really good days of practice, I'm sure, getting ready for today's game. And, that loss that they had in Durham is probably going to be a great motivator.
Yeah, you take away that loss, and the Wolverines are playing 500 ball. So they'd like to get this one under their belts as a victory to finish out 2012 at a 7-7 mark. Now, starting lineups for UVU, courtesy of Eric Allen.
And now, let's meet the starting lineup for our UVU Wolverines. At forward, a 6'4" senior from Gallup, New Mexico, number 20, Alfonzo Hubbard. Another forward, a 6'9" senior from Clearfield, Utah, number 22, Nick Thompson. At center, a 6'9" junior from Bountiful, Utah, number 34, Big Ben Aird. At guard, a 6'3" junior from Reseda, California, number 11, Jason Johnson. And at guard, a 6-foot junior from North Salt Lake, number 12, Dick Hunsaker. Head coach of the Wolverines is Dick Hunsaker, with assistants Mike Kelly, Steve Payne, Paul Moss, and Sean Denweiler.
Wolverines, as we mentioned, 6-7 on the season. 3-1 here at the UCCU Center. They play quite well. They're averaging 66 points a game overall, but giving up 72. It was skewed by a couple of games where they just gave up a ton of points to opponents like Weber State, who got 89. Wolverines, though, play very well at home. We mentioned in the pregame show, they've won 3 of their last 5 games. All 3 of those victories were in overtime. They beat Troy in overtime by 3. They beat Troy in double overtime by 4, and then they beat Pepperdine here at the UCCU Center in overtime by 4. So in other words, Matt, we got at least one overtime coming up tonight.
If the trend continues, it certainly will be the case.
Ben Aird will jump center for the Wolverines. It's Williams for the Eagles, and the Wolverines control. We're underway here in Orem, Utah. Johnson down low to Hubbard. First shot good.
Yeah, great first quick play there from the Wolverines. Get the ball into the corner. There was a screen on the weak side. I didn't see who said it. It may have been Ben Aird or Nick Thompson, but nice job of Alfonzo cutting to the block, posting up, and always good to see Wolverines get off early with easy inside baskets.
Hubbard just one of 2 Wolverines in double figures in Durham when these two teams played a month ago. He had 10 points that night. Jumper outside from Ingram. And an early tie.
You know, he is their leading scorer on the year, very close between him and Stanton Kidd, but Jeremy Ingram can play, and evidence there coming off the double screen with the jump shot early.
Johnson feeds inside to Ben, turn around, fouled on the little jump hook attempt, so Ben Aird will shoot 2. Foul going to be called on Ray Willis. And that's not good news for Carolina Central. They're coming off a 3-point loss at Drake on, I believe, Wednesday night. And in that game, Willis picked up 2 fouls in the first minute, 23 seconds. He's already got 1 here tonight. We've played 60 seconds.
Yeah, definitely they have to keep him on the court. You know, a point I wanted to make, Jim, what you mentioned kind of during the pregame, well, I guess during the introductions there, was that North Carolina Central is going to a smaller lineup. You know, they do play 4 guards essentially out on the floor, so their offense is going to be perimeter dominated, and something for the Wolverines to focus on is pounding that ball inside, and they've done that early on with a couple of post plays and post opportunities.
That time Stanton Kidd for the Carolina Central Eagles in the lane just a bit too early, so Ben Aird will have a second chance at that free throw. And the junior from Bountiful, Utah, gives UVU an early 2-point lead. It's Willis. Up top to Chapman. He'll take a 3. Carolina Central with the first lead.
On the season, they're not the best 3-point shooting team, shooting almost 31%. So surprising to see these long jumpers, that last one being the only 3 so far.
Wolverines working inside again. Ben Aird gets rolled to go down. Ben Aird's got 4 points. Wolverines by 2.
And they clearly have an advantage. Just look at them pounding that ball inside. Ben did a nice job of getting his post position early, holding off the defender. And he can get a lot of those shots with nobody really for Central being able to guard him inside.
Sorry, Wolverines by 1. The score is Utah Valley 6, Carolina Central 5. Thank you very much. Drive underneath, no good. Eagles rebound, long 3, rims out. Ben Aird with the rebound for UVU. Wolverines wanting to run with it. Hubbard for 3. Bottom. Alfonzo Hubbard. When he's hot, nobody can stop him.
Yeah, he's got an all-around game. He can post up, he can shoot it outside. And for a team, for the Wolverines, I love the start that they have offensively. They've given up some jump shots, but offensively they're playing great, and they've got a ton of energy and a ton of rhythm so far.
Willis comes back with a long 2. So it's a 2-point lead for Utah Valley. Holton Hunsaker looking for an opening, gets it into Ben, turn around off the glass, won't go. Willis and Thompson battle for the rebound. It'll belong to Carolina Central.
A good job of Holton probing the defense on the perimeter, attempting to drive where he had the opportunity, didn't force anything, and his patience paid off as he was able to dribble around and see Ben Aird ducking inside along the lane line there, and a good shot, just a missed shot from Ben.
3 minutes gone here in Orem, Utah. Scramble for it. Carolina Central controls. Low post feed, nothing there for Kidd. He'll kick it back outside. That's Ingram. 8 seconds shot clock. Ingram stripped on his way to the hole. Foul going to be called inside against UVU. That one's going to go on Ben Air.
And much like in the Troy game, we'll see the replay here. Wolverines doing a lot of switching on the perimeter. You know, they did a lot of that in that Troy game, as Central is going to be looking at doing a lot of those dribble handoffs, picks on the ball. And in this instance, Jeremy Ingram got that ball, got a full head of steam coming around the perimeter. And you know, Nick Thompson normally wouldn't be guarding him because of those switches that they had. He was switched off on, and you know, you see him get beat on the perimeter, and Ben Aird have to come over late.
Well, Ingram's got 4 points after making both the free throws. We're tied at 9. 3.5 minutes gone, first half.
Well, we haven't mentioned either, but usually on made baskets, Central is doing some type of a full court pressure, where it be a man-to-man or a zone. So Wolverines have done a great job handling that so far. It hasn't caused them any problems.
15 seconds on the shot clock. They tried to work it into Nick Thompson, stolen away. Eagles back the other way. Jumper Chapman. No, instead he dishes off the last second to Ray Willis, who buries the jumper. Alfonzo Hubbard. He's already got 8 points. And the Wolverines lead it by 1. Jumper baseline coming from Chapman, won't go. Eagles with the rebound. That was Stanton Kidd who pulled that one down. Ray Willis will take a 3, left side. And picked up by the Wolverines.
Really nice box out there from Nick Thompson underneath. Wolverines have given up a couple offensive rebounds.
Hubbard misses his first shot of the night. Rebound comes down to the Eagles. 4 of 6 shooting for Utah Valley. 4 of 8 for the North Carolina Central Eagles. There's another 3-pointer. This one coming, though, from Emmanuel Chapman. 14-12. Carolina Central up on top of UVU here at UVU's home court. And Holton Hunsaker going to be called for an illegal screen. Maybe we'll talk more about that when we get back, Matt. Right now, first media timeout. 14-12. Wolverines down by 2. 5.5 minutes deep here. You see the stats on the season for these two coming in, Matt. Anything jump out at you?
Well, similarity. I mean, you look at the points per game, very near. Field goals virtually identical. 3-point field goal percentage. Rebounds, assists per game, and you know, North Carolina Central with a larger advantage in steals per game. But you know, everything else is very similar. So you know, that obviously sets up and sets the stage for a tightly contested ball game. But both of these teams, even though they may go about it and do it in different ways, the statistics so far this season have borne out that they're very similar.
Yeah, so you never would have thought, looking at those stats on the season, that the first time they played, the Eagles just dominated and ran away by 18. But then again, 60-something% shooting will do that for you. Every now and then you'll have one of those games. Baseline jumper won't go. UVU coming back the other way, looking for a tie with 2. Or taking the lead with 3. Antoine Hosley running point guard right now. It's Holton Hunsaker on the bench after that last foul. Hubbard gives over to Jason Johnson. Shot won't go. Ball picked up by Jawara. Carolina Eagles working it over to the corner. Jeremy Ingram's got it. Gets it back from Jawara. Drive it down the lane. Layup good.
Jeremy Ingram is a driver. That's what he's looking to do. He hit that early outside jump shot, but you can see what he's wanting to do, and that's drive to the basket. And so, tough for the defense, specifically for the on-ball defender, but, the rest of the team has to be aware that if he breaks down the defense, they've got to be ready and willing to help and rotate over and provide some assistance.
Right now, Wolverines got to get some offense going. It's an 11-3 run by North Carolina Central. Hosley drives in, puts up the little floater. There you go. Antoine Hosley, junior out of Portland, Oregon. His first 2 of the evening. Wolverines down by 2. Jeremy Ingram. Well, you just said it. Yep. He's a driver. And 1.
And see, as I mentioned, the Wolverines are doing the switching. You see here, you see how Ben Aird switched off on him for some reason.
Jason Johnson is the one getting called for the foul, number 11.
He came over after Ben. Yeah, that's a nearly impossible matchup for Ben out on the perimeter when Jeremy gets that ball, because they're doing a lot of the switching that we talked about on the perimeter. But when speaking of Jeremy Ingram, when he sees that matchup, he's looking to drive, and it's just what we mentioned about the late rotation.
Well, it wasn't an and 1 because the shot didn't go in. Sorry. Taylor Brown checks in for the Wolverines.
I think that ball did go in.
Yeah, that's what's going on. The coach, Lavelle Moten's up in front of us saying, look, the shot went in. It was an and 1. There should only been 1 free throw. All right, well, good. So I'm not going crazy. Thank you. So it was an and 1.
Yep.
All right. Thought I'd been blinded by eggnog or something. Steal. Almost a steal. Wolverines control it. Jason Johnson's got it. Fires over to Ben Aird. Ben Aird, nice position. Jason Johnson, great play.
Yeah, exactly. He made an errant pass into the middle, but recovered the basketball and then advanced it. Anytime you get that type of pressure, the easiest way to get a team out of it is to beat it consistently and with ease. And if the Wolverines can continue to do that, then highly likely that they'll stop doing it. But here we go with Central once again, offering the made basket in a full court press.
Stanton Kidd, junior from Baltimore, 6'7". That was a heck of a shot. Here's a 2-on-1 break. Jason Johnson misses that one. Coming back the other way is Central. Left side it goes. Houston misses that one. Jawara working hard for the rebound. They're going to call a foul against Jawara.
Over the back. Really nice job of boxing out there that time by Jason Johnson. He was on the perimeter. You see what happens when this up and down, this higher pace game, both teams moving up and down. That time the Wolverines late in matching up in their transition defense. They've struggled a little bit in getting back on defense.
Hunsaker, trouble in the backcourt. Out of bounds. It'll still be Wolverine basketball.
And I believe they'll only have 2 seconds to get the ball across the court.
Yep. That'll bring us to another immediate timeout, though.
Dawn is breaking at Utah Valley University. 33,000 students are descending on campus. What are they after? Knowledge? Opportunity? They might be pursuing an MBA, an automotive certificate, or a bachelor's degree in philosophy. But despite their different paths, they share a common understanding.
Hi, my name is Tony. I'm a student with UVU Automotive, and this is my classroom. At UVU, you can graduate with a diploma and a resume.
This is the fourth meeting between these two. Utah Valley leads the series 2-1. In fact, it was that loss a month ago in Durham, North Carolina by 18 points. The only time that Carolina Central has won a matchup with Utah Valley. Right now, with 11:40 and change to go, first half, 21-16, Wolverines down by 5. That time, Carolina Central's Jeremy Ingram being called for the holding foul.
And North Carolina Central is very active on defense. You know, they do that full court pressure, but then they fall back. They're pressuring all the way out to the half court line, and they're very aggressive, as evidenced by that last foul right there. So whoever's holding the ball, they're going to look to extend the pressure, and they're going to put a lot of pressure on the ball handlers.
Hunsaker drives in. There's 1 on 5, basically. Wolverines lucky to still have possession. Inside Ben Air jump hook. Nice.
Yeah, really nice job of Ben working without the ball there. You know, he never stopped working. Ball made the way around the perimeter inside to him, and you know, he had the advantage inside.
Ben Aird's got 8 points. First meeting between these two, he had 12 for the whole game. Nice high shot from Stanton Kidd.
Yeah.
Not much chance to block that thing.
No, and Holton did a good job of holding his ground, but just the size advantage there was what did Holton in.
Just under 11 minutes to play, first half. Jawara being called for the foul, his second, the team's fourth.
See Ben getting the ball right in the middle of the floor. If North Carolina Central is going to put that pressure on, get the ball in the middle, stay out of the corners, get that ball in the middle and attack. You know, if a team's going to pressure you, they're just exposing themselves to a lot larger area that they have to cover defensively, and it leaves a lot of opportunity to attack and get to the basket. And as I mentioned a little earlier, you know, if North Carolina Central gets beat on that repeatedly, chances are they won't be in it that long.
Only 3 Wolverines have scored thus far in this game. Ben Aird's got 9 of the Wolverines' 19. Alfonzo Hubbard on the bench right now with 8. Antoine Hosley's got the other 2. Now Ben has 10.
Yeah, and they've been relatively an easy 10, all inside, hasn't taken any jump shots. So, you know, he's working hard inside, and you know, he's being rewarded for it.
Willis gives over to Ingram. Put the ball in the hands of Ferguson. He'll take a jumper way outside. Wow. Long stretching rebound by Davron Williams. 6'7". Carolina Central with a fresh 35-second shot clock to work with. 10.5 minutes left here, first half. Wolverines haven't led since it was 12 to 11. Wow. Stanton Kidd. 26-20.
Long three-point shot there. I don't know if the Wolverines were expecting that, but he knocked it down, so they'll have to be ready and prepared anytime he's out on the perimeter from here on out.
Well, Kidd had 14 the first time they played. I would hope they were looking for it. It's Taylor Brown. It's been a long time since Taylor Brown's been able to get a 3 to go down. And he's another one of those players, when he gets hot, he's unstoppable.
Yeah, and a nice pass from Ben. That ball goes inside. Ben sees the defender from the corner that was guarding Taylor suck in, and he made a one-handed pass out. Just a great play.
Kidd misses it. Then going in and charging. A little discussion afterwards between Holton Hunsaker, Ben Aird, and Ferguson. Ferguson all 5'9". Holton Hunsaker drew the charge. To say there's a little bad blood between these two, in the game a month ago, Holton Hunsaker ended up with stitches above his, I believe it was his right eye. And there was lots of blood that night. So sure, there was bad blood.
Was. And real blood.
There was bad blood, yes. Hopefully that we won't get to that one tonight, but already started. Wolverines can't get it to go inside. Central on the run, coming back the other way. Willis, Ingram, he'll take the 3. Ben Aird with the rebound. Holton Hunsaker Shot for three will not go. Nick Thompson drives in. He'll shoot two after being fouled.
Yeah, really nice job of Nick hunting down that rebound. With the long three-point shot, you get a long rebound. Nick did a nice job of gathering the ball and making an immediate move to the basket. Really nice job of crashing the offensive glass. I think if the Wolverines can continue to do that, they've had a couple offensive rebounds, and if they're able to continue to do that, that's going to bode well, give them extra possessions.
Foul on Davron Williams, his first, team's sixth. Nick Thompson's free throw is good. Wolverines clawing their way back into this. They had trailed by 5 when it was 21-16. And then again by 6 when it was 26-20. So 4 straight points by the Wolverines right now. Nick Thompson, second free throw on its way, too hard. Rebound comes down to Carolina Central. .8:45 left, first half. North Carolina Central, Utah Valley. Stanton Kidd gets it to go. Kidd's got 9 points. Ingram's got 9. Chapman 6, Willis 4. They're the only 4 Eagles who've scored in the first half. Lob inside to Ben. I don't know if that was deflected from behind on the way up or he just went too hard. Willis kicks it outside to Chapman. 8 minutes to play, 20 seconds on the shot clock for North Carolina Central. Chapman runs over Holton Hunsaker, and that's a foul on Davron Williams. Just under 8 minutes to play, first half. Wolverines are down by 4.
Costa Vida was born on the beach, so the coast inspires how we prepare everything, from our crisp salads to our irresistible burritos. And with more fresh sauces and salsas to choose from, meals at Costa Vida are truly a custom experience. Costa Vida, the coast is calling.
Dawn is breaking at Utah Valley University. 33,000 students are descending on campus. What are they after? Knowledge? Opportunity? They might be pursuing an MBA, an automotive certificate, or a bachelor's degree in philosophy. But despite their different paths, they share a common understanding.
Coming back here, see a couple of these highlights early on from Ben Aird. You notice how aggressive he has been going to the basket, and a lot of times when he gets that ball, how he is posting up. He's doing a nice job of holding off the defenders. There's that one-handed pass that he made as the defender sucked in out to the corner. Ben's 10 points so far, 3 of 5 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Doing a really nice job giving the Wolverines an offensive presence inside.
Back to live action, Wolverines with possession. Trailing by 4 here. With now 7:45 left, first half. Hosley gets it into Hubbard, who's had a little bit of a rest, out to Hunsaker for 3. Too hard. Eagles of Central come away with it.
And that time Central went into a zone. Looked almost like a 3-2, but kind of transformed its way into a 2-3, switching up from the traditional man that they've played nearly every, from what we've seen, every possession so far.
Willis. Hubbard with the rebound. Hunsaker for 3. No, he just can't get it to go yet. Holton Hunsaker has been just blistering hot the last few games. 32 points in that double overtime win against Troy. And again, basically won it in overtime the second time against Troy. Holton Hunsaker that time being called for the foul, though.
Yeah, Holton trying to get his way in between the screens there that were being set for Jeremy Ingram. He knew that a double screen was coming, tried to force his way in between. He does have 2 fouls. Looks like he's going to be coming out of the ball game, but that's what they're doing. That's what North Carolina Central is doing, is setting a lot of on-ball screens, and once they do that, they're getting a lot of double screens away from the ball and trying to spring their perimeter players. So a lot of screening going on in the Central offense here.
Zach Jones and Jason Johnson checked in. Holton to the bench with 2 fouls. Ben Air to the bench for a breather. 6:40 to play first half. Wolverines are down by 4. They've led by as many as 4 in the first half. Carolina Central's led by as many as 6. Lead's already changed hands 5 times here in this first half, though. Driving in, crashing hard to the floor after making the basket was Alfonzo Houston, 6'3" junior guard from Ohio.
And see, here goes this defense again. I think it's, almost looks like a 2-3. It's going to be more of a matchup, obviously, but they've played this zone the last 2 possessions.
Inside, Hubbard twisting, turning, can't get it to go. Eagles with the rebound. Baseline. Houston not there. Wolverines with it. Nick Thompson, and he's a pretty good ball handler for a guy who's 6'10". Jose will run the point now in Holton's absence. Hubbard. Look at the moves Alfonzo Hubbard puts on, and trying to stay with him was Stanton Kidd. Kidd finally commits the foul.
Yeah, several of these last possessions, we'll take a replay here. See Alfonso using some good ball handling skills, spinning ability. You see the nice pump fake there, just the very subtle pump fake, getting the defender up in the air. Once he sees him into the air, he continues his motion onto the basket, causing and creating the contact. But the last several possessions, Wolverines get that ball, whether it's against the zone or sometimes when they've been playing man, get that ball right at the free throw line like they did there, and allow the offense to flow from there.
Senior connects on the first free throw. Wolverines down by 5 with right at 5.5 minutes to play first half. Hubbard's got 9 points. Alfonzo Hubbard into double figures. He and Ben Air each with 10 points. Meanwhile, the rest of the team, Hosley's got 2, Thompson's got 1, Taylor Brown's got 3. I'm not sure it's 2 Wolverines can win this game. Gonna have some help.
Yeah, they are, and I think that with defense, so much emphasis is placed on that when maybe your best offensive players aren't giving you everything that they normally might, but defense can always keep you in the basketball game.
Chapman misses. Hubbard with the rebound. Hosley. Back to Fonz. Hubbard partially blocked, I believe, on that shot from the corner. Carolina Central on the run, coming back the other way. That's Willis. And Zach Jones fighting for it. 1, 2, 3, 4 players diving for it. Well, you came to a basketball game and a football game broke out there.
Absolute scrum. You see a nice challenge there from Zach Jones, and both players going on the floor, diving. You see,
trying to call a timeout. Both of them were. They just didn't have possession.
Yeah, I think a good call there from the referee. No one really had clear possession there, and gets the jump ball call.
Okay, Avi Enos checks into the game. Hosley takes a seat for the Wolverines. Possession arrow goes for Central. Jumper on the inbounds play, Jeremy Ingram. Nothing there, but he's fouled by Zach Jones. He'll shoot 3. 5th team foul against UVU, first foul against Zach.
Yeah, you see Zach go out there. He does a nice job of staying vertical with his hands. His hands were straight up in the air, but I think where they called the foul was his momentum as he jumped and challenged the shot, carried him into Ingram, and gets called for the foul. Now that was a good play run off of the inbounds play to get Ingram the ball. He set the initial screen and then came off and got the wide open 3-point shot, and Wolverines forced to rotate late.
Ingram's missed 2 out of 2 so far. He's got 1 more coming on the season. Jeremy Ingram 80% free throw shooter on a team that averages 74%. So at this point, Zach Jones is thinking, hey, it was good play.
Might have worked out.
Gave up 1 point instead of 3. 31-26. Wolverines down by 5. 4.5 to play. First half. Ben Aird back into the game. Inside feed to Hubbard. Fighting for it. It goes off the Eagles, I believe. Yeah, it's going to be UVU basketball.
And once again, Wolverines get that ball in the high post to Ben Aird, and Ben's a great passer, allows him to look across court, look near side. That time Alfonzo snuck behind the defense, just couldn't quite grasp it initially, but that's good offense. Get that ball at the high post.
Nick Thompson, his first 2. His first basket, he already had a free throw. 4 minutes to play. First half, Wolverines now just down by 3. Avi went for the steal, did not come up with it. Ingram's got it.
This is that switch again. Let's see how they guard it. Really nice job there from Ben Aird, causing that pass.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Willis will take it from way outside. Easy rebound that time for Nick Thompson. Hubbard's wide open corner. And ball goes up and over the back. 3:24 to play. First half, Wolverines are down by 3. 31-28 to North Carolina Central. Back in a minute here on UVU TV.
Dawn is breaking at Utah Valley University. 33,000 students are descending on campus. What are they after? Knowledge? Opportunity? They might be pursuing an MBA, an automotive certificate, or a bachelor's degree in philosophy. But despite their different paths, they share a common understanding.
Dick Hunsaker, second leading scorer on the team on the season. Right now, scoreless, 11.5 for the season, though, is what he averages. And there's his dad walking right by him in the blue shirt you saw. Like father, like son, yeah. Holton plays with intensity. A lot of folks think that perhaps coaching is in Holton's future. Coach Dick Hunsaker, one of the most decorated coaches in the state of Utah. Coach of the year back when he was with University of Utah. He's done a great job since coming here to UVU. Ben Aird talking about a great job, blocking him from behind, but they're going to call Ben for the foul. My goodness gracious. I thought he had all ball up there.
Yeah, it looked like it here. They may have called him with the body. But that was your classic pick and roll because you had the screen up top from Davron Williams. He came up, set the screen, and rolled to the basket. And I think the Wolverines placed a little bit too much emphasis on the player coming off of the screen, hence leading Williams open on the roll, and Ben left with no choice, no chance there but to foul.
At the free throw line is Williams. Makes the back end of 2. So it's a 4-point lead coming up on 3 minutes left here in the first half. North Carolina Central on top, Utah Valley. Holton Hunsaker on the bench right now because of those 2 fouls. Don't expect we'll see him till the second half. Standard procedure for Coach Dick Hunsaker to do that when one of his players gets 2. 12-second shot clock. Alfonzo Hubbard kicks it out. Hosley for three. Wolverines track it down. Hosley for two this time.
Give a lot of credit there to Nick Thompson. He was the one on the three-point shot from Hosley. Came in and got that tip out at the very last minute out to Alfonzo. He recovered the ball, and Antoine Hosley with a very confident, another jump shot.
Jumper way outside for three is good. That one coming from Emmanuel Chapman.
That time, Jim
got 9.
Yeah, sorry, that looked like to me the exact same play, only this time the roles were reversed. The Wolverines placed a lot more emphasis on the player rolling to the basket, leaving the three-point shooter open, and he knocked it down.
Hubbard had it slapped away from him momentarily, picked it back up and put it in for 2. Hubbard leading all scorers with 12 points. Wolverines down by 3, just under 2 minutes to play till the teams head to the locker rooms for halftime. Long three-pointer, Chapman. These guys are almost taking NBA threes.
Yeah, and I think, just as I mentioned at the very beginning, they're shooting 40% from the three-point line. Typically on the season, 31% is their average, but they're feeling very confident as they're getting a lot of screens, and Wolverines are going under the screens, and they're knocking down some long three-point shots.
Ray Willis, shot blocked from behind. Wolverines on the run this time. Keavi Enos. Central coming back the other way. Willis was left down there after that last drive. He was just slow getting up. The beneficiary of a turnover.
Yeah, you're going to get a timeout here from the Wolverines, but they had that opportunity coming off of a defensive stop, but they turn it over in transition, and as you said,
40-32. Hey, at halftime, we're going to be talking to Greg Williams. He's the coach of a very successful wrestling program here at Utah Valley. Greg Williams had a stellar wrestling career himself and has now put together a heck of a squad here at Utah Valley, one of the few universities in the West that still has a wrestling program. So a lot of young men who are in high school that love wrestling usually have their eyes on Utah Valley thanks to Greg Williams. We'll talk to him at halftime, along with stats and highlights and all the stuff that Matt Peterson is renowned for. 40-32, it's an 8-point lead. That's the biggest lead for North Carolina Central here in the first half. I mentioned earlier, the last time the Wolverines led was when it was 12-11. Under a minute to play. Jason Johnson.
Now look at that, they've extended that now to trapping.
Baseline jumper, Nick Thompson.
Nice job handling the trap. You see it looked like something they designed coming out of the timeout. Antoine Hosley, I believe it was, that got trapped on the sideline. Going to get another timeout here, but unexpected. That trap comes in. They did a nice job of breaking the pressure, and they had a lot of options once they got the ball into the middle of the court.
Coach Lavelle Moten jumped off the bench and wanted to call a timeout. He played for North Carolina Central, and then I think 4 years later was named their head coach. Not a lot of folks around here anyway in Utah know much about Carolina Central. They're located in Durham, about a mile, maybe a mile and a half from Duke's campus, and about 8 miles from North Carolina's campus. So you can imagine they don't get a lot of media coverage despite having a pretty good program there. 8,000 and change students, maroon and gray, currently members of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, the MEAC. Yeah, here in college sports now, you always have to say currently.
Yeah,
when you talk
no
about,
kidding. So much change.
When you talk about conference affiliation. And there you see Coach Lavelle Moten in his 4th season with the Eagles. Right now, his Eagles with a 6-point lead.
Yeah, and this is a critical possession, obviously, for the Wolverines. 30 seconds on the shot clock, a little more than that left in the game. But down 6 points, let's see if they can get a stop and somehow get some type of, shot clock, get an opportunity at the end of the half here.
Jeremy Ingram looking for help. 10-second shot clock. 3 seconds left, or 3 seconds less than the game clock. Inside, outside, it goes to Willis. Buries the 3. A 9-point lead as the teams go to the locker room. 43-34. This score kind of shocks me. I expected the Wolverines to be closer at halftime. Back with your halftime show coming up after this.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
Hi, my name is Tony. I'm a student with UVU Automotive, and this is my classroom. At UVU, you can graduate with a diploma and a resume.
Back in Orem, Utah, Jim McCullough along with Matt Peterson. Utah Valley trailing North Carolina Central by 9 at halftime. A game that saw the score change hands 5 times in that first half. It was actually tied twice. Largest lead by UVU was by 4 with about 18 minutes left in the first half. So North Carolina Central just pretty much controlled it, Matt, after the first couple of minutes, it seemed like.
Yeah, they played very well. I thought, we're going to see a number of highlights. Alfonzo Hubbard got off to a hot start for the Wolverines. You had number 32, Emmanuel Chapman, who right now is leading North Carolina Central in scoring, has 12 points. He averages just over 3 on the season, but I think you mentioned it. One of our keys to the game was the Wolverines had to get out early. I think they did, but once the Wolverines got out to that fast start, I think North Carolina Central kind of caught up to them and did a lot of really nice things. That's what their game is right there. They're looking to always be driving to the basket. We saw the Wolverines get in trouble when they had a turnover or so on the on the offensive end or in transition, and maybe they get a quick shot, and shots that normally fall don't. Then Central looks to be out and running, and they're off to the races. And this is clearly an up-tempo game and one that they, I'm sure, would rather play rather than a slower pace, slower tempo game.
18-12 rebounding in favor of North Carolina Central, and shooting-wise, 52% for North Carolina Central in that first half. That's actually good news for the Wolverines, because in Durham a month ago, the Eagles of North Carolina Central shot 61% in the first half. So the Wolverines held them to 52% in the first half here.
Yeah, and like I said, they got a lot of really good shots, and I was surprised to see how many long jump shots they took. As we mentioned some of the stats on the season, they didn't have a very good three-point shooting percentage, but they've hit a couple of long threes and long jump shots. And you'll see some stats here, 12 of 26 for the Wolverines. They don't have any steals, 30%, 3 of 10 from the three-point line, whereas the Eagles shot 16 of 31. They had 2 steals, and they shot 6 of 12, 50% from the three-point line. So, that's well above their average, and that's given them a spark. And enough can't be said of Emmanuel Chapman's effort. As I mentioned, 12 points when it's so hard. You never know. That was a theme I mentioned a little bit earlier that we've seen so often. We focus on these key players, and we know that they are key players to the game, but all the time you get a lot of these players who don't average as many points or haven't had that big of an impact on previous games in critical situations and in games they sort of pop up and they play really well. And, Emmanuel Chapman has fit that description tonight for the Eagles.
Chapman 12 points, Ingram 10 for Carolina Central. Meanwhile, for Utah Valley, Hubbard with 12, Ben Aird with 10. All right, Matt, now comes our halftime interview opportunity with Coach Greg Williams. Coach Greg Williams, the wrestling coach here at Utah Valley University, originally from San Diego, graduated from high school way back in 1979. He was the California State champion. As soon as he gets the headset on and sits down, oh, you're here.
Yep.
Good to see you, my friend.
It's good to see you, Sven.
All right. I was just telling people you were the state champion in high school. What weight class was that?
136.
What?
Yeah, quite
You've
a few
never
pounds
weighed
ago.
136 in your whole life, young man. That's unbelievable. And then, let's see, you wrestled at Utah State?
Yes.
On full scholarship.
Yes.
Then you came here, and now you've got this program moving pretty in a positive direction. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, we're pretty excited.
Tell me about the team this year, because you guys were good last year, but tell me about this year's squad.
Yeah, we're still young. We brought some kids out of red shirts, so we have a few freshmen starting for us this year that are doing quite well. And we do have one senior in Josh Wilson. But right now, the whole goal is to get guys to nationals. Two of our freshmen, the twins, Jade and Val Rouser, they're both sneaking into the rankings. Josh is doing well, and
so we're looking at Josh now. Now tell them about. A lot of folks might not understand NCAA qualifier. What does that mean?
It just means the NCAA tournament. You have to qualify through your conference, and your conference only has so many spots, and that depends on how many guys are ranked. So you basically need to be ranked to have that opportunity to go, so that you earn those spots. Then you have to place that high at conference.
Excellent. So he's a pretty good player, or a wrestler. Now I understand you've got some pretty intriguing help on your staff this year too.
Yes, we hired Justin Reese to join us this year, and he has a lot of great experience. He wrestled for me in club, all the way through his high school career, so he knows a little bit about my philosophy. We're pretty excited about having him there. The kids are responding well to him. And
7-time national champion, really?
Yes.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Now, Justin, he just looks like a wrestler right there.
Yeah, he's pretty mean.
You need to shave your head, Coach. You would look meaner if you shaved your head like that. Is he a mean guy?
No, he's actually quite a nice guy, but on the mat, you don't want to mess with him. So.
Excellent. All right. Tell me about I've heard you've got some upcoming matches that are pretty big.
We have some great home meets coming up, starting with Wyoming on January 4th. They're ranked again this year. We have Arizona State and Stanford coming in as well. We're super excited to have them in. Very, very good tradition for both of those programs.
But you're on the road. What is this Midland Champs?
The Midland Championships are really, it's the biggest tournament in the country each year, and so you'll see a lot of ranked guys. It's a great way to be able to go against ranked guys and have a chance to prove yourself.
Then Wyoming's here. Then the UVU Open. What is that one?
That's just, we host a bunch of schools that come out. Usually our starters don't wrestle in it, but we have usually everybody else. Sometimes if we have a starter who's young and we want to get them more matches and work on some stuff. But basically we have kids from Boise, Wyoming, Bakersfield, so a bunch of the D1 schools, and then some D2 and an AIA schools come out. But it's more of an open tournament.
Gotcha. Now, I see Arizona State on January 18th. You mentioned Stanford. That was not on the screen, but that is February 1st. And both Arizona State and Stanford will be covered live by UVU TV. But the other ones, if the fans want to come out and see you in person, it's not going to be on TV, so they'll need to come on out.
Yes, yeah. We have three ranked teams at top 30 right now from our conference. It's getting better, and
wow.
Air Force will be here as well. They're one of those three. North Dakota State's the other one besides Wyoming.
Holy cow.
So those will be good, and I think we can compete with them, so it'll be fun.
Now, a lot of people remember last year you had what was probably the best wrestler maybe ever in UVU's history, Ben Kerr.
Yes, yeah.
How's he doing, by the way?
Ben's doing great. He took a run last year at the Olympics and ended up fourth in the Olympic trials.
Oh, geez.
And he's going to make another run at it. So he'll have, he's taken this year a little low key, and then he'll pick up again next year and do a 3-year cycle, kind of trying to get himself ready for that.
What weight class did he wrestle in?
Here he wrestled 125. Internationally, it's 121.
That's almost your.
Yeah.
Could you take Ben? Ben's probably watching.
No,
so here's Coach.
I would hurt my back bending over to wrestle Ben. So,
in your prime as the state champion, could you have taken Ben?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on. You're so humble about this. All right, so besides Justin, anybody else on the team, when the fans come out to say, that's the guy I heard about, who are the stars to watch?
Our first two weights are the twins, Val and Jade.
Right.
Jade and Val Rouser. 149, Josh. Our 157 pound, we just dropped down, Ethan Smith. And then at 65, Abner Cook. All those guys are wrestling quite well and starting to sneak up in those rankings.
So not a lot of colleges still have wrestling programs. They seem to be dropping like flies. You yet are building a phenomenal program here at Utah Valley. The recruiting interest still there for you?
Well, we had a great recruiting class this fall, top 20 again this year, and we've still got spring to go. We got a couple of big guys that we're trying to go after, but we just signed 5 kids, three Utah products, the top 2 Utah seniors this year.
Nice.
Grant Lamont out of Mapleton, and then Maple Mountain High School, and then Jed Mellon from Payson High School. And Colton Hardy, who's on a mission right now from Box Elder. But the 2 kids also that we got from out of state are top-ranked kids. One's ranked 4th right now. And so we're really excited about what we have coming up. The youth we have in our room right now, really good.
Excellent. So the future is bright for UVU
It's looking
wrestling.
really good. Yes.
Coach, we're about out of time. Thanks for the interview. Good to see you again, my friend. Good luck to you this season. Coach Greg Williams, head coach, UVU's wrestling program here at Utah Valley. We're at halftime. Wolverines are down by 9 to North Carolina Central University.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
Dawn is breaking at Utah Valley University. 33,000 students are descending on campus. What are they after? Knowledge? Opportunity? They might be pursuing an MBA, an automotive certificate, or a bachelor's degree in philosophy. But despite their different paths, they share a common understanding.
Costa Vida was born on the beach, so the coast inspires how we prepare everything, from our crisp salads to our irresistible burritos. And with more fresh sauces and salsas to choose from, meals at Costa Vida are truly a custom experience. Costa Vida, the coast is calling.
Halftime here at the UCCU Center. Wolverines of Utah Valley down by 9 to North Carolina Central, 43-34. Now in our pregame show, we heard from Matt Peterson give us the keys to the game for UVU to win. I'm going to let you revisit these.
Yeah.
See how they're doing.
Let's take a look. So taking care of the basketball, Wolverines have done a spectacular job. Only 3 turnovers in that first half. So, you know, they've done a great job. I don't know if we've seen that from them this year where they've had so little turnovers in the first half. Start quickly. They did a really nice job of starting quick. You know, I thought that they did a good job. They just weren't able to sustain that, you know, towards the middle part of the first half and, you know, towards the latter part as well, and defend well. I think this has probably been their Achilles heel, giving up 43 points in the first half, you know, allowing North Carolina Central to shoot nearly 52% from the field, 50% from the three-point line, and, you know, they're only shooting 5 of 8 from the free throw line. So that last part is probably where the Wolverines need the most help with regards to these keys is, you know, the defense that they've had. But, you know, they're they're not out of it, only obviously down 9 points. So, look for them to do a lot better job making maybe some small slide adjustments, getting motivated at halftime.
Yeah, in that first game a month ago in Durham, Coach Dick Hunsaker's squad was down by 40 to 18 at halftime, so 22 points. Coach Dick Hunsaker, of course, in his 11th season here at UVU, has got 193 wins versus just 117 losses. You mentioned earlier he was the Independent Head Coach of the Year as well as the Great West Conference Coach of the Year. Actually, the last 2 seasons here at the Great West Conference. This is the last year that Utah Valley will be a member of the Great West Conference. They head to the WAC beginning July 1st, and Coach Dick Hunsaker will be leading his troops into the Western Athletic Conference play next season. Right now, though, the Wolverines 9 points down as we begin this second half. Holton Hunsaker with 2 fouls and starts to drive, and Chapman being called. Chapman trying to keep Hunsaker from driving. I thought for a second they were going to call charge on Holton.
Yeah.
I was a little worried about that.
Yeah, I think good foul call there because definitely did impede Holton's path.
Turnaround hook shot will not go down for Nick. Central with the rebound.
Good play there, good back screen from Holton to spring Nick coming across, getting a good post-up. That was perfect post-up position, just didn't get the friendly bounce.
Jeremy Ingram drives in, can't get it to go. UVU basketball.
And once again, the Wolverines catch a break there. That's probably the 4th or 5th time we've seen that switch. Ben Aird once again, forced to guard Jeremy Ingram out on the perimeter, and Jeremy did get around him, just wasn't able to finish on the layup there.
Well, you talked about keys to the game. They took care of the ball really well and just turned it over a couple of times in that first half, and you jinxed them.
Yeah, that's a tough pass there. Nick Thompson, basically trying to pass that ball right down the lane line to Ben Aird posting up. Maybe could have improved his passing angle and passing lane a little bit more, taking one dribble to the right, having a better angle to pass inside.
Willis misses. Ben Aird with the rebound. 3 rebounds for Big Ben. There's 3-pointer. Nick Thompson. Just his 4th 3-pointer of the season. Wolverines need a couple more of those. Tie this rascal up.
And what I liked about that is we see a long 3-point shot there from Chapman is maybe they'll do it here. Get the ball out and running. That's what they did last time. Get that ball to Holton. Holton advances it, and they're out and running.
Kick out. That 3 won't go. Nick Thompson fights for the rebound, and the transfer from Oklahoma puts it back in.
Yeah, Nick giving him a great spark to start this second half with that long 3-pointer. Got the early open look inside, and once again coming up with a great rebound, great offensive rebound.
Nick Thompson, all 5 of the Wolverines' points here in the second half. Go inside. Ben Aird picks up the loose ball rebound.
Yeah, I love this. I love this tempo that they're playing. Look how early they're posting up. You see Nick hustle down, get inside, creating some opportunities for himself. Wow.
Nick Thompson, Merry Christmas. 7 straight points from Nick Thompson to start the second half. Wolverines were down at halftime 43-34. Now they're just down 43-41.
Yeah, and they've come from all over the court.
Yeah.
You see this post up he has here. No, not really a post up, just more of a mid-range jumper. He had the early post up that we talked about. He's been very key for UVU so far.
– 43-31, 43-41. Sorry, looking at too many stats on a monitor here.
Going back to that point, though, Jim, we've seen everything from Nick just in the first couple minutes here. He had that jump shot inside. He had the offensive rebound put-back layup. He had the long 3-point jump shot and that last mid-range jump shot. So showing a lot of different things, off of a quiet first half by his standards. But yeah, he's come out, really sparked the Wolverines.
There's your profile for UVU for all those fans back in Durham, North Carolina watching this one right now. 31,000 students here in Orem, although they're all on Christmas break right now.
Yeah. But we have a good crowd and giving some good support here.
Ingram, there's a three-pointer. That stops Nick Thompson's run of 7 straight.
Tough shot there. You see from our angle, he didn't really have his feet set. He looked like when he launched that, he was off balance, never really squared up to the basket, but it didn't matter in his case because he was able to knock it down.
Holton Hunsaker tried to lob it into Ben Aird, stolen away. Ingram had it on the hip, couldn't get it to go. Hubbard comes away with it. Alfonzo Hubbard takes it all the way. Fonz has 14 points. At 14 against Utah State a couple of games ago.
Seen a lot of missed layups, but it seemed like right at the rim missed layups from North Carolina Central, and UVU's rebounding them, converting them into transition offense and getting some easy baskets.
Yeah, Carolina Central just 1 of 6 here in the second half. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Jeremy Ingram will take it. Nothing there for him. Wolverines are down by 3. Hubbard to Nick Thompson, working hard, kicks out. Holton will take a 3. Holton Hunsaker yet to find his range, 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. Driving down, Juara. Basket will count. Ben Aird picks up the foul. Most importantly is Ben Aird just got foul number 3.
Yeah, that was a tough finish there from Juara. Definitely gets contact drawn from Ben Aird. I don't think Ben was expecting him to drive immediately when he did, but a good drive and a good finish there from Juara. And as you said, Ben's got to be very careful because they can't afford to have him pick up his 4th foul with 15, 16 minutes left here in the game.
Well, after the Wolverines had drawn to within 3, Carolina Central comes back with 3 quick ones. Ben can't get that one to go inside. Carolina Central quickly down the other end of the court. They are fast. 5-0 run right now for Carolina Central. 51-43. Wolverines are now down by 8. Coach Dick Hunsaker wanted to take a quick little timeout to talk to his squad. The coach always hates it to see the opponent get down that fast.
Well, and it's just like what the Wolverines took advantage of when the Eagles were missing those short layups. That's what got them a nice advantage early on in the second half, is missed layups led to good baskets for UVU, and then it's just flipped roles here. Wolverines have had a couple missed shots the last time down the court, and in that instance, Ben misses that layup, and North Carolina Central is out and running. But it's a theme we've seen in a lot of these home games for UVU so far, is the theme of runs. There's always going to be runs in a game, but it's Wolverines put together a run, North Carolina Central puts together a run. It's kind of gone back and forth, and with Wolverines down now 8, as you mentioned, they're going to have to put together a run on their own, but they can't keep relying on that type of way to play to bear them any fruit in the game.
Yeah, since Nick Thompson pulled them within 2, Carolina Central has gone on an 8-2 run. Well, coming back the other way. Layup won't go. That time, Stanton Kidd had a pretty good look at it. Wolverines back the other way. Hubbard. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Once again, you miss a layup, you miss an offensive transition opportunity. The other team gets that ball, and they're out and running. So, I think if either team could kind of gain the advantage of making sure they're converting on a lot of these opportunities, it would greatly improve their chances.
Wolverines down by 6. Nine seconds shot clock. Ben Aird kicked the ball. It'll still be Carolina Central basketball when we get back. Just under 15 minutes to play. Wolverines are down by 6 here at the UCCU Center, but things are just heating up.
I'm Joe Luce, an anthropology student at UVU, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm sharpening my mind and my skills.
I'm Patty Garcia, a geology student at UVU, and this is Engaged Learning. At UVU, I'm learning by doing.
Wolverines down by 6 here in the early part of the second half. A reminder that you can follow Utah Valley Sports on Twitter. Utah Valley University, at Utah Valley UNIV. I got to say this right. I'm not a Twitter myself.
Me either,
tweeter.
so me
What?
either. Yeah, no.
You're a young guy. I figured you would do this.
No. I appreciate the compliment of me being a young guy, but no, I'm not.
Well, I should surprise you and just get a Twitter account.
Yeah.
Start to say a tweeter account. That's how much I know. I have tweeters. They sound great in my house. Wolverines down by 6. 15 minutes to play. North Carolina Central basketball. Ray Willis. Working inside to Stanton Kidd. Working against Hubbard. And Hubbard going to be called for pushing in the back. My goodness. Sometimes you like the officials to let them play. Sometimes you like them to call it tight.
Yeah. Well, this
Sometimes they call it too tight.
Yeah, and this game's picked up its physicality as it's gone on. You know, that's not something that you would have expected to have been called, but you know, maybe Alfonso put 2 arms on him and trying to hold his ground. Did a nice job initially, but then gets called for the foul.
Ingram's miss gives the Wolverines a chance to cut that deficit down a little bit more. Nick Thompson feeling the hot hand, can't get that one to go down. Carolina Central with it. Ray Willis. Not there. Warren with the rebound, though. Yeah, the intensity's starting to pick up a little bit.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot more ball pressure. You're going to see a lot more activity as far as physicality, I think. You see a nice jump shot there from Ray Willis coming off of a screen, but yeah, it's only going to get more physical and pick up as the game goes on.
Well, after they cut it to 2, Carolina Central has pushed it now back out to an 8-point lead. They've led by as many as 9. Hunsaker still looking for his first points of the game. Can't get that one. Central coming back the other way. Ingram takes it over to Chapman. Chapman avoids Holton's steal attempt, and the Wolverines turn it over. And 1.
Yeah,
Jeremy Ingram.
That's the danger, is the Wolverines had success a little bit early on in this half, at least, of getting those deep outlet passes. You know, you get these passes out past the 3-point line, getting closer to the half-court line, and you know, that time Jeremy Ingram just did a nice job of anticipating that pass going out and steps right in the lane. And
Ben Aird, 4 fouls now.
Yeah.
Ben Aird, 10 points tonight for the Wolverines.
And we saw that replay. I mean, that was questionable as far as that being a foul on Ben. It looked like he got his arm up a little bit, but I don't know how much of a foul there was from Ben. But yeah, that's going to be a critical loss. You know, he's been their offense, has 10 points, been a presence inside at least. You know, Hubbard, Thompson, and Holton is going to definitely have to pick up the slack here with Ben going out.
11-point lead for Carolina Central. Nick Thompson. It won't go. He'll shoot 2. Fouled that time by Stanton Kidd.
Yeah, this was a nice job reading the defense. You see the drive there. Thompson being aggressive. He's been aggressive the second half. He's going to have to continue to do so. You know, like seeing that action from him, not settling from jump shots, but using his ability to get past defenders and end up at the free throw line.
Nick Thompson, 12 points tonight, 1 of 2 from the free throw line thus far. Wow, and that stops a 10-2 run that Carolina Central was on. Back to a 10-point deficit with just over 13 minutes left here at the UCCU Center. Second one bounces around about too good. There was some debate whether, or some thought that Carolina Central would be kind of tired. They didn't get in till really late last night. They played Drake Wednesday night, and then that blizzard in Iowa kept them there a day and a half. They had to fly from Iowa to Minneapolis to California to Salt Lake to get here last night. First time they saw this place was earlier today for a 60-minute shoot-around. They don't look tired to me. Houston. Alfonzo Houston can't get it to go. Kidd with the rebound, and goes through.
This may be a problem for UVU with Ben Aird being out of the game.
Yeah.
You know, he has been the rebounding presence inside, has 8 total rebounds, but with him going out, you know, you got to have a team effort. You know, Nick Thompson being the tallest player in there, he's going to have to pick up where Ben left off.
Hubbard forces it up in traffic and draws the foul. Alfonzo Hubbard will be at the free throw line. 12 minutes, 13 seconds to play. That foul going to go against Jeremy Ingram.
Yeah, you see Alfonzo with the post-up move here. That's his move there with that spin move. You know, reading where the defender is and initiating that contact and getting the foul call. But you know, going back to that rebounding aspect with Ben, you know, leading the rebounding charge here. You know, Nick Thompson has 5 rebounds. Alfonzo has 4, but they're going to need help from everybody. You know, rebounding down, you can't anticipate that, you know, a big guy's going to get the ball inside because, you know, North Carolina Central will likely be more active in crashing the offensive glass, and they've come up with some offensive rebounds here in the second half.
It remains 58-47. 12 minutes left. North Carolina Central.
And they're going to do this weave where you just see these perimeter players dribbling the ball, maybe get a ball, on-ball screen coming up here, and we get it set.
Shot taken by Chapman. I think he was looking maybe to dish off, had to take the shot at the last second. Hosley for 3. Not there. Wolverines, quite frankly, just can't afford to miss too many shots because they don't have that rebounding strength. Look at the hustle by Holton, almost coming up with the steal there. Hold on a second. The officials want to talk to the sideline. And that brings us to immediate timeout. I don't know what the officials want to talk about.
Questioning possession there.
Okay. 58-47. Wolverines down.
If you're serious about going to college and getting a head start on the process, come get a feel for what university life is like. UVU Days are designed with you in mind. UVU Days are department-specific events held on Saturdays that will allow you to become a student for a day. These events are free and breakfast and lunch are served. For more information, dates, and times, please visit our website at www.uvu.edu/future students. Come experience what UVU has to offer in your field of study.
Dawn is breaking at Utah Valley University. 33,000 students are descending on campus. What are they after? Knowledge? Opportunity? They might be pursuing an MBA, an automotive certificate, or a bachelor's degree in philosophy. But despite their different paths, they share a common understanding.
See the replay here on this last possession. See Holton going parallel to the floor, giving maximum effort there. I think why they stopped the play was because they ruled that there wasn't any possession there. I think they ruled that Holton did not have possession of the basketball, but the shot clock was reset to a full 35 seconds. So they stopped it, and they've moved the shot clock now down to 25 seconds left. So I guess they ruled that he didn't have possession.
Thank you.
Good break for UVU. Yeah, good break for UVU, because obviously with Holton diving on the floor, takes some time for him to get up. But Wolverines important here now. Their defense needs to dig in, and their offense hopefully get them back in the ball game.
If you went for a sandwich and just got back, Ben Aird on the bench with 4 fouls for UVU. They've been struggling rebounding-wise ever since he went to that bench. Ray Willis kicks out, wide open 3. Not there, Hosley with the rebound. 11 minutes to play here. Taylor Brown. Dick Hunsaker will drive. Got all sorts of contact along that baseline. They're going to call a foul against Carolina Central. That one's going to go against Ray Willis. Ray Willis, his second. Nobody on Carolina Central's team has more than 2 fouls, but they've got 5 players with 2 each.
Yeah. Well, and it's been, neither team has really been, other than Ben Aird for UVU, as you mentioned. He's been in foul trouble here, but that aggressiveness is what the Wolverines are going to have, because with not really having an inside presence, Ben being out, he can post up Alfonzo and can post up Nick, but their perimeter players are going to have to be aggressive, driving like that to the basket, try and get North Carolina Central in foul trouble and finish plays that they have.
Dick Hunsaker, usually reliable from the free throw line, just gets 1 of 2 to go down. He's got 1 point this afternoon. 58-48, Wolverines down by 10. Ferguson feeds inside Jawara, and he double dribbled.
Yeah, you had the coaching staff for North Carolina Central arguing that the ball was hit and knocked out of his hands there, but double dribble's the call.
Just the 3rd turnover of the game for North Carolina Central. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I had not mentioned it, but I had noticed that. Did not mention it, but yeah, they've done an incredible job of taking care of the basketball. They haven't turned it over, and that just doesn't give the Wolverines many opportunities.
Nick Thompson shot blocked. Taylor Brown tried to grab it out of midair, couldn't control it. Well, it's not like the Wolverines are turning it over a million times. They've got 7 turnovers. That's respectable.
Yeah, no, I think it's been a pretty clean game both ways, both sides as far as turnovers go. But the Eagles have just done a much better job.
Coming up on 10 minutes left. Inside feed, Taylor Brown blocks that shot from Ray Willis. Wolverines have it. Nick Thompson in traffic, crashing to the floor. He'll shoot 2. I think the officials have their choice of players on this one to call the foul on. Jawara is going to be the man.
Yeah, this seems like something we see at least once a game from Nick, where he gets that ball and he gets it in the back court, and he's got a lot of open space in front of him, and he's just able to create and able to drive. And we talk about it every game nearly, is the skill that he has for a bigger player, a small forward essentially, in handling the basketball. And he's got great ball handling skills, and it was clearly evident on that play. And goes back to the previous play with Holton. That aggressiveness is something that you have to have. You got to have smart aggressiveness. You can't be out of control. But really nice job the last 2 possessions down for UVU.
Nick Thompson, 15 points. He only had 5 in the first meeting in Carolina. Look at 16. Wolverines draw to within 8. That foul on Jawara, his 3rd. He's the first Carolina Central player with 3 fouls in the game. 9:45 left to play. We're in Orem, Utah. Wolverines are 3-1 at home this season. Carolina Central just 2-4 on the road. Right now they're controlling things. Fonz knocks it out of bounds. Carolina Central, you weren't there, Matt, in Durham a month ago. That weave that you talked about out front, they ran that the whole second half, probably at least half the shot clock, just letting some time burn off.
Yeah, and it allows perimeter players opportunities. I mean, you can create offense, and you can get screens on the ball coming up. There's, it can be a good thing.
Floater in the lane won't go. Wolverines come away with it. Lead pass, Hosley. Nice layup, nice assist. Good look from Dick Hunsaker.
And that was clearly created by their defense. The best possession that I think the Wolverines have had in the second half defensively. They got a shot. It wasn't close. They got the rebound, and it was one pass and out. You know, it happens so much. You can get your defense to create opportunities for you, and you know that's really good for UVU when they can do that. And see Antoine Hosley with the tough finish, and you know, you can see the nice effort that was given there from Jawara coming down, attempting to block the shot, but you know, a good finish there from Antoine.
Well, I'm sure if you're Jawara at 6'7" and you see Hosley at all of 6 foot tall, you think, I got a shot at blocking this,
yep.
But
and
Hosley put it up pretty high.
Yeah, he gave a great effort and not able to recover.
Antoine, 6 points tonight, 3 of 5 shooting from the floor. He's had a lot more minutes tonight than usual. Dick Hunsaker sat out half of the first half with 2 fouls. Right now, Hosley and Hunsaker on the floor. It's Ben Aird who's not going to get many minutes here in the second half as he went out with his 4th personal foul early.
Well, and Antoine's been very good offensively, but I think probably more so they need his efforts on the defensive end as you see him being matched up with Jeremy Ingram, leading scorer for NC Central. You know, he's done a pretty good job so far. You got to see him fighting through some screens here, but you know, he's done a nice job.
Ingram for 3. Nick Thompson with the rebound, his 6th.
Just as I say that, Ingram gets an open 3, but Wolverines dodged the bullet there.
Nick Thompson can't get the 3 down. Taylor Brown, nice tip out. Wolverines maintain possession. Taylor Brown, not going to show up on the stat sheet, but he's made a couple of great plays. Look at that one. Saved it again. Wolverines just need to get the ball in the hole. They're doing everything but. That time, Nick Thompson being called for the charge.
Yeah, that goes back to that. You know, you got to be aggressive, but you also have to be smart. You know, maybe forcing it there a little bit. Probably no maybe about it. Definitely forcing that action. You know, in the momentum, Wolverines got a couple offensive rebounds on those tap outs, as you mentioned, but unfortunate foul there, but definitely an offensive foul.
Jumper outside, no good from Stanton Kidd. Wolverines with a rebound.
And North Carolina Central seems to have gone cold a little bit from the perimeter, and not able to hit those shots from the perimeter that they hit in the first half. And a lot of that can be said of UVU's perimeter defense.
24% shooting here in the second half. In the first half, they shot 51 or 52%. Foul's going to go against Carolina Central. Alfonzo Houston picks up his 1st and the team's 6th. So with 8 minutes to play, we might be seeing a lot of free throws here coming up, as they're calling this one a lot closer, I think, in the second half than they did in the first. It'll still be UVU basketball.
See the coaches here in front of us calling for a travel out of bounds there for Nick Thompson.
Hubbard wide open, missed the jumper. It was almost too wide open for him.
He did have a good shot, just didn't get enough legs underneath that one, enough air on the ball, and it came up quite short.
6-point lead for Carolina Central.
And look for a lot of back screens that are being set. North Carolina Central did a nice job, as you see a blocking foul going to be called here on Taylor Brown on the drive from Jeremy Ingram, but a lot of back screens trying to get post-up players open on the weak side.
Taylor Brown picks up his 1st foul, team's 5th. 7.5 to play. Wolverines down by 6.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
If you're serious about going to college and getting a head start on the process, come get a feel for what university life is like. UVU Days are designed with you in mind. UVU Days are department-specific events held on Saturdays that will allow you to become a student for a day. These events are free and breakfast and lunch are served. For more information, dates, and times, please visit our website at www.uvu.edu/future students. Come experience what UVU has to offer in your field of study.
See the dribble drive here from Jeremy Ingram, and Taylor Brown rotating over, has to come over late, but we're going to see a lot of that action because of the offense that the Eagles are running. We've talked about the weave, we've talked about a lot of the dribble handoffs, there's back screens going on, there's double screens, there's picks on the ball. They're doing just about everything, and the whole design is for that type of a play to get their perimeter players lanes. You saw how open that lane was to the basket, and forcing the defenders to rotate over and creating other opportunities. I wanted to mention, as we just talked about, how the Eagles have gone cold in the second half. They are 6 of 25, only 24% from the field. So the Wolverines defense is doing its job from the field. It's just plays like that they've got to make sure that they shore up.
7-point lead right now for the Eagles. Make it 8-60-52.
Interesting to see when we see the entrance of Ben Aird back into the ball game. This lineup has been good for UVU, I believe, so we'll see if he comes back into the ball game, as he does have those 4 fouls.
Nick Thompson gets it back from Holton. 15-second shot clock. Nick Thompson couldn't get it to go, missed the tip. Central with it.
Yeah, good defense there. That was a good offensive move. Nick going to his weak hand, just wasn't able to convert it, but pretty good offense there. That's what the Wolverines are going to have.
Jeremy Ingram, 20 points tonight to lead all scorers.
So North Carolina Central here running like a flex offense where they're setting a lot of down screens, a lot of weak side screens, and Nick reads the pass.
Nick trying to take it to the hole, and I don't know if they'll call it a shooting foul or not, but he is fouled on the way by Jawara. That'll be 4th foul on Jawara.
Yeah, Jawara no shot at getting set to take the charge. Nick just keeps going on his straight line to the basket. So nice job of reading that. But as I mentioned, they were running a flex offense, and Nick did a nice job of anticipating where the pass was going to be going, just getting in the passing lane, and comes up with timely turnovers and a timely steal for UVU.
Jawara takes a seat with 4 fouls. Nick Thompson now, 17 points to lead the scoring attack for Utah Valley. Hubbard with 16. Ben with 10. Thompson just 3 away from tying a career high. So's Fonz, actually. Both of them 3 points away from tying their career highs.
Yeah, here we go, Jim. Once again, this weave action. Watch how it's designed. You mentioned how much they'd done this in the previous game.
Yeah, I thought they were just burning clock down in Durham.
Well, they may be. I mean, they have a 7-point lead, but they'll try and give out. Look at all this space that he has. Chapman has to create, and you'll see eventually a screen come up, being set, and the roll to the basket. There's a lot of action going on.
3 seconds to shoot. Ball pulled out of midair by Alfonzo Hubbard. Just under 6 minutes to play here. Wolverines down by 7. Lob inside to Hubbard. Got position. Nice assist from Holton.
Yeah, and great job of being patient. Nick took the ball to the wing, reversed it through Holton. Alfonzo did a great job inside, holding off his defender the whole time, and sealed off the smaller defender and just put his hand up, and Holton had a nice pass right to his hand.
Wolverines down by 5 with 5.5 to play.
See Holton doing a nice job here, fronting inside.
Lob inside, knocked away by Taylor Brown. There's that intangible thing going on with Taylor. It's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but several times Taylor's just done some pretty sharp things with the ball.
Yeah, it's what you have to have when you front. When you are a defender, and you are fronting the post like that, then if they just lob that ball, you have to have weak side help, and so your weak side defender has to be aware. Taylor was aware and came over and got there in perfect time right when the ball was arriving.
Jumper for 3 on the inbounds play. Good from Jeremy Ingram.
Now that's a tough shot, a really tough break for UVU. They did not do a good job of defending that and giving up the three-pointer.
Ray Willis with the foul. That's 3 on Ray Willis. And the 8th team foul. UVU's committed 5 fouls.
Yeah, Holton looking to pass here, but
not much of a foul, but doesn't take much, I guess.
Got a little bit of it, but more key. The UVU now is going to be in the bonus for the rest of the ball game.
Holton's got 2 points now, both of them coming from the free throw line. 0 for 5 from the floor, but running the offense fairly decently. 5 assists. Rebound as well on Holton's stat sheet. Wolverines down by 6.
Let's see if the Eagles do more of that weave. We saw the last time the danger of doing that. You're almost just wasting time, and you leave yourself very little time to get a shot off. And so maybe they'll continue to do this, maybe look to get into their action a little bit sooner.
I think putting a little pressure on Chapman.
Yeah, see, they do get into their action sooner this possession rather than just relying on going one-on-one at the very end of the shot clock.
Well, you're down to 8 seconds on the shot clock now. Inside it goes for the easy layup from Stanton Kidd.
Yeah, I think you had a miscommunication there, or a quick switch from Nick Thompson and Taylor Brown. And a nice job of a run out there. Nick Thompson getting out, and clear goaltending there after that ball was off the rim. Nice pass from Taylor. I believe it was from Taylor up ahead. Maybe it was from Holton there. I believe it was Holton, but nice job of passing ahead. So the Wolverines against this offense, they're going to be doing a lot of switching. So they have to have good communication. They have to be aware of when switches are going to happen, so that they don't get, they don't leave their teammate and get burned on a switch where one of the teammates didn't know what was happening.
There's your steal you were talking about, Hosley. And suddenly the Wolverines are just down by 4 with 4:06 left.
I think what North Carolina Central is doing is playing right into the hands of the Wolverines, because they're being much more passive. They're trying to use that clock, and the Wolverines have done a nice job of anticipating where passes are going and where shots are going to be coming from.
Taylor Brown once again tips it out, but this time Carolina Central players recover, and then they turn it over as Alfonzo Hubbard sees the ball go between his legs out of bounds. Well, we told you this one might be a lot different from the one in Durham so far. It is 4-point game.
Costa Vida was born on the beach, so the coast inspires how we prepare everything, from our crisp salads to our irresistible burritos. And with more fresh sauces and salsas to choose from, meals at Costa Vida are truly a custom experience. Costa Vida, the coast is calling.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
Wolverines are down by 4. Here you see Carolina Central's next 5 games. Their road trip will continue at Marquette and at Winthrop. Winthrop's in Rockell, South Carolina, before returning home to take on Virginia University of Lynchburg, Florida A&M, and Bethune-Cookman. Meanwhile, UVU's next 5 games, 2 of them coming up in Chattanooga next Friday and Saturday, before coming back here as Great West Conference play opens with NJIT. Right now, though, this thing's getting pretty tight. 4-point game.
Momentum definitely with UVU.
Hubbard can't get it to go. Picked up by Central. North Carolina Central, Emmanuel Chapman with it. Just 28% shooting for North Carolina Central here in the second half. Wolverines shooting 41%. 3:15 to play. 15 seconds shot clock. Willis. Back to a 6-point lead. Willis with 13 points.
And that's the danger of anticipating. Alfonzo went for the steal. I think got a little too aggressive, didn't come up with it, and left Willis with a just a one dribble jump shot, really.
Hunsaker for 3. There you go. H2 brings them back to within 3 with 2:50 to play. And boy, it didn't take long for Lavelle Moten, head coach of North Carolina Central, to jump off the bench and say, look, if we're going to leave that kid open, he could kill us from outside.
Yeah.
Timeout. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, a couple really good screens that were set. I believe it was Nick Thompson that set the first screen, and Holton came off it really well. And then there was another screen waiting at the free throw line by Ben Aird, and Holton knocked down the three-pointer.
We showed you UVU's next 5 games. These are actually the games that will be carried on UVU TV. All the games are on the radio, but these are the UVU TV games here at home. NJIT on January 5th and Houston Baptist on the 12th. Then in February, Pan Am comes to town, then Chicago State, Cal State, Bakersfield. So 5 more TV games here for you on UVU TV.
Well, one point I just was thinking about here, Jim, you've got Jeremy Ingram for the Eagles that has 23 points. I think that we'll see a lot of this action that the Eagles do, but I think coming down the stretch here, we're going to see the ball in his hands quite a bit. So as we've seen so far, Antoine Holsey's done a really nice job defending him. He's going to have to keep that effort up.
2.5 minutes to play. Wolverines down by 3 at home. Taylor Brown did it again. Slapped away the pass. It's 2-on-2. That's Hubbard. And he'll shoot 2. Foul's going to go against Ray Willis. Alfonzo Hubbard. Look at Taylor Brown's hustle here. I love this. Well, okay, yeah, we picked up the replay a little late for Taylor, but Alfonzo, there's the foul.
Yeah, it was an instance where there was an on-the-ball screen, and there was a switch, and it was a good call between the two players. And as you're right, Taylor Brown anticipated that there was going to be a dump-off pass, and just got right in the lane, knew where that pass was going, and then he, as you said, nearly dove on the floor, ended up, and Alfonzo was able to take the ball down to the other end.
Alfonzo Hubbard, 18 points so far tonight. Make it 19. He just tied a career high with those 19 points. 2:20 left to play here in Orem, Utah. Wolverines down by 2 to Carolina Central. We told you in the pregame show, UVU has won their last 3 games, each of them in overtime. Or the last 3 wins have been in overtime. It's a better way to say it. Ingram's got it. Feed inside, Kidd, layup good.
See, another instance of where there was a switch, but it was a late rotation, and the other players weren't in proper position. That lane was just open for the roll off of the pick on the ball.
Under 2 minutes now. Wolverines are down by 4. Look how tight they're playing Holton Hunsaker after he hit that 3. 15-second shot clock. Hosley drives in. Shot blocked from behind. They'll call a foul. Ray Willis got the block from behind, though. They're going to call the foul on Ray Willis.
Yeah, this was a good job. The play was designed to go to the other side.
Oh, they got him before the block.
Yeah, it looks like they may have called it out around the 3-point line. But I think Ray Willis is fouled out of the ball game.
Yeah, all of a sudden, boom, 5 fouls on Ray Willis. He goes out with 13 points, 7 rebounds for North Carolina Central. Jawara is still out there with 4 fouls. Ben Aird, again on the bench, as he spent most of the second half on the bench with 4 fouls and 10 points. Hubbard and Thompson have picked up the slack. They both have 19 points each.
Yeah, and I think Coach Hunsaker must have just liked the lineup. And clearly this lineup, since Ben went out, has been the one that have obviously got them back in the ball game and have played very, very well. So I think maybe he likes the matchups defensively a little bit, and he's seen enough offensively for this lineup to stay on the court. And it was a great play there from not only the defense that we had on the other end, but Antoine Hosley reading what the defense was playing him, and just made and read the defense.
Southpaw misses the first of 2. Antoine Hosley played his freshman year at University of Washington. before heading over to North Idaho. Now here at Utah Valley for his final 2 years. Now we see Ben Aird back into the game.
And coming back in, obviously probably to get that presence inside, and you know the lineup that they had did well, and Ben will only add to it here.
Hosley's got 9 points. Wolverines are down by 3. A minute and a half left to play. Jeremy Ingram, 23 points tonight for North Carolina Central. 15 seconds on the shot clock. That's Kidd. Hosley goes for the steal and did not come up with it.
They're going to call a foul on Jeremy Ingram there.
Wow. I didn't see that coming.
I think the reason why, only assuming here, obviously, is you see Antoine Hosley get inside there. Looks like Antoine had the inside path to the basketball, and they call a foul there on Jeremy Ingram.
Ingram's 3rd foul. Hosley at the free throw line. He's 1 of 2 from the stripe tonight. 9 points overall. Chance for the Wolverines to score some points without the clock rolling. Minute 11 left.
And they've done a really nice job of getting in the passing lanes. You know, they probably know what sets are going to be run, and they know what the Eagles are trying to do, and they just get in those passing lanes, and it's created havoc for North Carolina Central.
Wolverines have missed 7 free throws tonight. They are 18 of 25 from the stripe. Under a minute to play. Wolverines down by 2. Carolina Central with it. Ben Aird way out on Zawara. Both of those guys out there with 4 fouls. Jeremy Ingram. 5 seconds to shoot it. Drives in. Whistle. Well, who's this one going to go against?
I think they're going to call this one on Antoine Hosley.
Yep. Antoine Hosley picks up the foul with 39.9 to play.
How many times have we seen that, Jim? Ben Aird switched off on Jeremy Ingram, and it's just too much to ask of him. Guarding out on the perimeter, nearly every time that we've seen it, we've seen Ingram get by Ben. And in that case, Antoine had to come over and help and do a nice job of fouling, at least making him earn it at the free throw line. But those switches and Ben having to guard a perimeter player has been difficult.
3-point lead now, and Coach Dick Hunsaker wants to take a timeout and talk to his Wolverines about strategy, whether this next free throw is good or whether it's bad or missed. Better way to put it. 70-67 the score. Carolina Central up by 3. Wolverines officially now have missed 8 free throws. Sorry, I'd said 7 earlier. Stat board did not update in front of us. They're now 18 of 26 from the free throw line. Carolina Central 10 of 13. Wolverines have taken twice as many free throws.
We've got 40 seconds left here, Jim. First things first on the free throw, regardless, make or miss, you got to box out. Obviously, if he makes it, there's no need for a block out, but when that shot goes up, it looks like North Carolina Central is not going to give anybody down to challenge the rebound, but still come up with the basketball. Get that ball. You got to push it up. You don't need to panic. You got plenty of time. Get the best shot that you can, and just no need to panic in this situation. There's a lot of time left.
It's a 4-point lead for Carolina Central. 2-possession game for the Wolverines. 30 seconds left. Dick Hunsaker knows he doesn't have time to waste.
Now you got a foul immediately.
Ben Aird is the one that has to reach in and do it. That's Ben's 5th foul with 21.5 seconds to play. So Ben Aird fouls out with 10 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist tonight. Just a bad spot for Ben to be in. When you had to foul to stop the clock, he was the only one there to do it.
Yeah, I had no other choice there, and obviously the last foul isn't, it's the one that fouls you out of the game, but there were other calls during the game, unfortunately, for Ben. But we got number 40 going to the free throw line here, Alfonzo Houston.
First time he's been at the stripe in this ball game. Houston, a junior guard out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio.
75% on the year, so get the miss that they need.
Missed it. Bounced around. Officials look at each other. It's Carolina Central basketball.
Critical mistake there from UVU. It's just like the previous possession we talked about. First thing that you have to have is the ball. You have to come up with that rebound, and got what they needed on the miss, but they couldn't secure the ball. As soon as this ball gets in, they're going to have to foul once again.
Taylor Brown finally tracks down Jeremy Ingram, stopping the clock with 17.4 to play. It'll be a 1-and-1. Jeremy Ingram, 25 points tonight, 9 of 11 from the free throw line. He has 9 of their team's 11 free throws, does Jeremy Ingram.
Well, he's been aggressive all night. We talked from the very beginning that his game was a driver. And that's what he's looking to do.
Missed that one. Wolverines got to score quickly. Mosley takes it down, dishes out. Hubbard will take a three. Too hard. Nick Thompson back up. That won't go. 4 seconds left. Carolina Central with it. Taylor Brown reaches in and fouls with 1.3 seconds left. Jeremy Ingram is going to go to the free throw line again. Wolverines in this half have put up 26 shots, have made 10. It's 38%. North Carolina Central's put up 31 shots and made 10. It's 32%. So neither team really tearing it up here in the second half from the floor, that's for sure. Jeremy Ingram buries the free throw. 72-67 with 1.3 left. Coach Lavelle Moten to our right. Hollers at his players, no foul, no foul, no foul. Second free throw also good. And the Wolverines just going to inbound it, and that's how this one's going to end. 73-67. Wolverines lose it by 6. Wolverines fall to 6-8 now. Just their second home loss of the year. 3-2 here at the UCCU Center. Meanwhile, the Eagles of North Carolina Central climbed to 6-6 on the year. 3-4 on the road. So, Matt, we've just got about a minute, they tell me. So, your thoughts on this one?
You know, it was a good game, well-fought game from both teams. I think from, North Carolina Central's perspective, they probably played how they wanted to in the first half, probably not as well in the second half. And, from UVU's perspective, you look at it, despite being down most of that second half and, not really playing their usual selves, they fought back in it, and they had a chance. They had their opportunities there at the very end, and, unfortunately came up a little short.
Well, the Wolverines lose a disappointer here at home, 73-67. Tonight's game produced by students from UVU's Digital Media Department. Producer Ryan Johnson, directed by Dennis Lisenby. Tonight's technical director, Tennyson Moss. For Matt Peterson and our entire UVU TV crew, I'm Jim McCullough, saying Merry Christmas from Orem, Utah. Wolverines.